What's up, you beautiful Redditors? Hope you're having a fantastic Saturday. Welcome to the RNEWS evening show. And let's just jump into it. From r/politics, Bob Woodward actually has 19 Trump tapes with 10 hours of interviews, CNN reports. This is 100% a perfect asterisk strategy. Leak it out in drips and drabs until the election. Many are still voting in person. Maybe the week before he reveals an even bigger bombshell. Saying Putin owns him, saying he hates America, saying he wants to become a dictator, etc. Or just does a lot at once. Sure, they're essay book, but audio has a big psychological effect on people. I don't think the tapes will flip any die-hard supporters. Believe it or not, there are people who don't like Trump but are still trying to find excuses to vote for him because they never want to vote Democratic Party. These people could be convinced into not voting at all if there is damaging enough info in there. Woodward tapes. Hopefully that suckers and losers was enough. But these people also have the memory of a goldfish, and so they need to be reminded of it just before they're about to vote. They could literally make the difference in this election. Edit. If Bob Woodward got this out of him, imagine what he told Putin, a trained KGB operative. Somebody better change those nuke passwords. You're fired. One. Done. Edit. Since so many people are responding, this isn't that far from the truth. And I often imagine what Putin will get out of Trump after he's out of office. Another reason he needs to be locked up in prison. The words Bob Woodward and hours of tape are not ones any sitting president likes to hear. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/politics, Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani worked with an active Russian agent to discredit Joe Biden. I'd say some jail time is in order here. Don't prosecute now, he'd just get pardoned. Get the crook out first. Freaking traitor. For the life of me, I don't understand how Giuliani was never called in to testify during impeachment. He just admits to running a shadow foreign policy as the POTUS personal lawyer, going directly against US policy. And everyone was just fine with that. You're not paranoid if they're really out to get you. And it's not a red scare if the Russians are actually doing crap we should be concerned about. Like working with the guy the president is good annoy friends with that he motorboated his titties in order to baselessly discredit American politicians. Rudy Giuliani, never heard of him, he was a low-level coffee felon. Low-level coffee felon, are band names. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/news, Texas police group puts up billboard warning, enter at your own risk, saying Austin defunded police. Sweet, I brought my weed too. A celebration of honest life. Someone should put up Fourth Amendment free zone signs in areas where police enjoy civil forfeiture. But you're not being charged with a crime. Your property is. Thank them for keeping you safe from your dangerous $250 that would have strangled you in your sleep. Oh, it's even worse than that loophole. If you're charged with a crime, you're innocent until proven guilty, and the burden is on them. Not so for your property. You have to prove its innocence. Who could forget the infamous court case of $20 versus the state of Nebraska? This is actually a thing, e.g., en.m.wikipedia.org. More here, en.m.wikipedia.org. Isn't this what mobsters do though? It's a dangerous neighborhood. So dangerous. Only I can protect you. For a price. You'll be sorry if you don't. How long before off-duty cops start committing crimes against the community to prove how much they are needed? You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/politics, listen to Trump privately say in February that coronavirus is more deadly than the worst flu is. He publicly lied about the threat. Republicans, ask yourselves why the most genius, transparent, deal-makingest president has to continually lie about virtually everything. Democrats, ask yourselves if you think you can survive another 4 years of this madness. You both know what to do come October and November time. Vote the freaking Republican Party out of existence. Now all those douchebags saying the flu kills more will have to find a new excuse. If you voted for him in 2016 and still plan on voting for him again in 2020, then you are complicit with the atrocities this administration has brought. Correct response to prevent panic. This disease is coming. But we aren't defenseless. Our lives will have to change. My experts recommend A, B, and C. We will keep you informed as we learn more about how to prevent spreading this disease. Remember, follow the recommendations, and call your aged moms more often. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/World News. Harry Dunn's family sues American diplomat's wife over fatal 2019 collision. Good piece on why Sakulas didn't have diplomatic immunity. UK DPP has ruled this to be the case, and is likely dodging court to avoid being accountable for her actions. www.diplomacy.edu. Imagine if the roles were reversed, and someone killed a US official then fled the US to avoid prosecution whilst claiming diplomatic immunity on flimsy, red, bullcrap grounds. It wouldn't be tolerated. Unless they were also very rich, and were kind enough to share money with bribe politically affiliated groups. You mean Saudi college students? One of my college professors told a story about how he was waiting for the bus one day when one of his wealthy Saudi students drove by in a very expensive car. The student stopped and insisted on giving the professor a lift home. So the rest of the story, which I don't remember the details of, was mostly just going on about how fabulously wealthy basically all of the Saudi students were. How they all had super fancy expensive cars like that, and that one day they were all gone. I guess I spaced out at the thought of all that wealth as influence being in the hands of students. When the professors are so broke they're taking the bus. The way wealthy people live horrifies me. A good public transportation system is used by everyone. Riding the bus doesn't mean you're broke. The US government should be ashamed for their treatment of this situation. This family deserves justice. Right is right. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/Politics. Barr slammed for acting as personal henchman of Trump as DOJ moves to take over his defense in suit filed by rape accuser. Barr will be written into history as the most corrupt, quisling, pathetic enabler of the worst president in the entire history of the USA. I know he doesn't care. It's like a suicide pact. Mitch McConnell enters the chat. For 2 different presidents even. How he was even allowed back into the building disgusts me. Well, no one did allow him back in until there was a president as lacking in morals, scruples and human decency and Barr himself. But we mustn't forget that this man is the ultimate GOP insider. He's the fricking bagman for traitors and liars. And always has been. It's a testament to the delusion of your average MAGA slave that Barr, a titan in the pantheon of swamp creatures, sailed into the Trump administration and not a single small government drain a swamp Trump follower battered an eye. The voting MAGA rabble, making under 500k plus, don't follow any of this crap, they just know the slogans and to vote are every time. They're mostly effectively no information voters. The wealthy ones aren't morons, they are actively looting the country while the slack-jawed rulers are watching TV and getting poorer every year. Interesting use of our tax dollars. Remember when you vote that your hard-earned money is being spent on his personal misconduct. Not on hospitals during a pandemic. Not on food banks, but on his misconduct. And that's where we're going to end today's show. But if you like what you saw, leave a like, and if you want to see more of the RNEWS show, hit that subscribe button. As always, this has been the RNEWS show and I'll see you tomorrow.